You're watching Slow Walk It With Adrian, and I'm your host, Adrian LaBella. Welcome to the second episode of the Mancave series, when men retreat to their mental man cave. Rejoining us are our panel guests, Mike E. Wright, Carlos Faison, Park Stewart, Will E. Coleman, Kelly R. Woods, Michael C. Durham, Justin Anderson, and Ricky Alexander. Remember, if you need to catch up, you can always go back to the previous episode. In the meantime, let's go back into our discussion. So I won't call this gentleman's name because I didn't get his permission to do that. But I was in a chat room with a gentleman leading a relationship group, and I wanted to hear his take on why men retreat. And he said something that was really, I thought it was really interesting. He said, women think when men retreat that it's about them. He said, it's not always about you. He said, retreating, and this is, let me say this, let me quote him correctly. He said, women shouldn't think that it always has something to do with them. Sometimes we're not trying to get away from you. We're just trying to be alone with us. And I thought that was very interesting. Now, the thought behind that was profoundly stated. It really was. But the truth, is the man cave sometimes about the woman? Your thoughts?
It's like what you said. A lot of times it's about us. We want to spend time with us. Like when we're giving out a lot, well, you got to think about it. We're giving ourselves out to different things. Majority of that time, majority of us is going to our significant others. So there are times where we want to spend time with us because like we were here before we met you. So like we still have to take that time to deal with us. And being disrespectful, it's more so saying, hey baby, I need to go ahead and gather my thoughts. Let me spend time with Ricky. Because I gotta still live with him. And I know you're not going to go anywhere, but to make sure that I can be better for you, I got to be better for me too. So there shouldn't be a double standard. We're saying like, oh, you trying to retreat from me, but in other times where, I'm pretty sure that women want to retreat from their husbands too. So it's like there has to be a balance. If there is not a balance, then it's going to be disarray. And then we're going to be going in two different directions. When at the beginning, if we could have established that balance, then like Park Stewart said, it's like we are growing and we're getting, how can I say this? Like if you have two people in this couple that are working towards something, we're going in a straight path. Like there has to be a medium that we can come to and say, hey, we can both do this, but we still need that time for us as well. Right. And there's a respect there that won't go noticed. It'll be like, hey, this is our standard. We respect each other. We give out each other that space because we want to be a healthy, peaceful relationship.
And Adrian, I'm going to say this to you and to the sisters that's watching. When you said, is it sometimes about getting away from the woman?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So watch this. Is going to get your nails done sometimes getting away from us?
That's where I was going.
I'm glad you asked that question.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not if I tell you here, sweetheart, go get your nails done or go get your hair done because I know that takes 4 or 5 hours. Because there's two premises to this. It's the mental man cave and then it's the physical man cave. Okay. The mental man cave is normally, to me, in my world, is because there's an issue or there's something that I just need to deal with. Because the physical man cave is just like, I just want to play my guitar and that kind of thing. So y'all can send us to the man cave too. Know that.
Yeah, see, that's my question. Is it sometimes about? Because the truth is, men and women both get away. So a woman can take her me time. I've had enough. I need a break. But
Right.
guess what she does? She notifies her surroundings. I'm on me time, so that you understand that when you come to me, this is not the normal time. This is me time. And you
Right.
got that understanding. And when she goes away, let's say she gets dressed and, sometimes we just want to drive until the street ends,
Yeah.
just your me time. You want to think. So you go away, but your significant other usually has a cell phone line to you to be able to locate you and say, hey, I need you back, or whatever the
Right.
case,
Right. Right. Right.
locate you. And so the man goes to his physical mental cave, his physical man cave. When a man enters his mental man cave, there is no cell phone, there is no location. And he may be there and not present, but you can see that he's checked out, which leads me to my next question. So I know that there's a healthy part of man caving. I know this. But, when the woman feels certain things, not everything is because the man just needs a retreat. Sometimes I'm thinking as a woman, and you correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes, like you said, you can drive a man to the man cave. Sometimes it has something to do with the woman. And sometimes it can be because there was conflict, there was a disagreement, there was something like that. And then other times, maybe not. But the truth is, sometimes, it's my thinking, it may have something to do with the woman.
But you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
You said because of conflict. That's why I said earlier, we emphasize the conflict, but we don't emphasize conflict resolution. You can have a disagreement. You can be in your feelings one day. Something could happen on your job. You came home and you projected it off on your significant other or whatever. But if you're going to resolve that conflict, then you have to have the ability. We always say the number one problem is communication. I think the number one problem is not communication. I think the number one problem is selfishness. Because when one becomes selfless, then they will care about the person's feelings and they will prefer that person's feelings over their own. And if you're constantly doing that, then conflict resolution will come forth. You know what I mean? If it's not, what you said, my man said, well, is it about the woman? It's not about, you know what? It's not about any of us. It's about us. Us. When it's a couple, it's about us.
Sure.
It's about you. It's not about me. It's about us. And if everybody keep the us in mind, that means I'm not putting myself above you and you're not putting yourself above me. And now we understand. And that's, again, being able to feel that person and understand them. The more you learn them, the more you understand them, the less conflict you will have. We really taking the time out. We're used to, we're argumentative by nature. I call this sometimes petty generation. Everything on everybody's nerve.
Right.
The patience level is low. But when the heart is there and it's right, and a lot of people say, well, hey, you just got to work on the relationship. But take a lot of this, take a lot of that. Some relationships, a lot of them, when they happen organically, and it's not work like people say it is. I mean, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and I don't feel like my relationship is work. I feel like my relationship is joyous. It's a place of peace because that conflict resolution is there. It takes precedence over everything else. And then you won't get into the you, me. It becomes us. And as long as it stays us, then the feelings will remain the same. It will be prioritized correctly for both parties.
Yep. Go ahead.
The man cave whole concept, several different ways to look at it. Of course, there's the physical aspect, there's the spiritual aspect, there is the psychological aspect. And it could be argued that it's just a place of where that man has control. And in particular, there are rigors at work, rigors in the community in the family, and even with sometimes a spouse that they need a place of control. I'm single now, but I was married a long time, over 20 years. And I can distinctly remembering my wife saying, well, the house belongs to me, you go work outside and, but the house belongs to me. And when I was able to get a man cave, I had a room with a space that I could decorate the way I want. I could
There you
put
go.
it together the way I want it, and it's very, very satisfying. And it was then and even now. So has a lot to do with of having a place of control.
Yeah.
We were told to have dominion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so like that side of us needs to be fed in some way.
The only place in the house that we can decorate and we can make it look just like we want.
Like we wanted.
Our
That's
man
right.
cave. Now, if you wanna completely just decorate everything, but when it comes to that man cave, that's my domain.
That's right.
Control
Right.
that domain. You come in my domain, I control it. Don't tell me how to move my chair. Don't tell me to paint my walls. If I want whatever football team I got on that wall, I guarantee you that's the football team that I'm gonna have on that wall.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with being a male chauvinist. It has nothing to do with that. I gave you the complete house.
Yep.
My bathroom, my room, my man cave. Do not come to my man cave trying to boss me around in my domain because it's not gonna be pretty.
Right. That's good. I'm glad you said that, man, because yeah, you know, I when I first got married, well, before I got married, me and my wife, we had talked about a house, and I told her, I said, listen, you can decorate however you want to. I want to have some input, but the majority of it, I want you to decorate the whole house. But when it comes to my man cave, that's mine. That's my little home within our home, if that makes sense. That's my space to be to myself and just have whatever I want to do there.
Man, here's a deep question, and I might have to turn my man card in on this particular question, but nothing personal, but it sounds like, okay, you got the whole house and all of this, and we in a relationship, but I need to be single for like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Being married over here. Okay. I'm just saying.
Mikey, I appreciate it.
I miss being single for
Maybe
5 minutes. Okay.
I don't know. That's where that man cave is where you talk to your boys and you just brag about everything. You're like, bro, I had this many girls looking at me today. I turned her down. I turned her down. I turned her down. Hey, that's where you can be you. That's where you collect yourself. It just, there's something about, you know what I'm saying, when you're with your boys and you're that camaraderie. You're just like, y'all just like help iron sharpeneth iron. I can go in that room. I can esteem my brother higher than myself. Like, man, you go out there, make that money. Go get that bag. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it.
We can build each other up because we're torn down so much in other areas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
To build each other up.
Yeah, not only Rick and Justin can do that. How many girls hollered at me today? And
pass me that bag of chips. I turned her down today. I ain't want to do it. I ain't
what's
even want
the
to
B
do that.
song to Beyonce? All the single brothers.
Right.
So I have a question for you. I have a question for you. I'm sorry. What's somebody talking?
I'm real proud of the fact that we got young men.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Speaking the
Keeping
way
it real too.
it does my heart good. Yeah, I love it, you know, and I think it's a major thing that we need to have. And when we were younger, you know, like I'm a little bit different thinker. And when I was younger, we had OGs on the block
Man.
who would pull us aside and give us the, you know, drop the knowledge on us and discuss things. And we would have conversations, you know. It kind of got lost over the years with all this independent thinking and lack of mentorship. So I'm very proud of y'all brothers for that. And I also want to say too, to the women, because she asked a very pertinent question. I'm gonna put this out there, and it's just me. This is just my thinking. Like my wife, she watches football. She does all that. You know what I mean? If she's doing something and I'm doing something, I just like for her to be next to me.
Yep.
Like for me to be next to her.
There you go.
That's because I think she has become my place of retreat.
Wow, that's deep.
He made a very pertinent point. with all the turmoil in the world and all the things going on, she is my place of peace. That is my place of comfort. So I don't really need to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing so I think if the woman can understand that she could become a man's place of peace and comfort, and she respects that, then anything the man does when he's apart, as Mikey said, she won't view it as abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Because she'll already know I'm his place of comfort, just needs time, or they all just need to go, which everybody so eloquently spoke on.
Mm-hmm.
That's rich.
Can I ask a question? Parks, I'm in a relationship and I'm feel like I'm just soaking up a lot of game from you just right now on this call. While I got you here, can I ask you a question? Did y'all like start out in that place? Did she, like you said, it kind of happened organically?
It happened.
Did she become your place of peace? You know what I'm saying?
Wow, you know what? That's a good question. Being a creative the way I am, my expression is not something that I do. Like, I don't just write songs. It's who I am.
Right.
You're a poet, but that's an expression of who you are. You just don't write poems. It comes from an inner place. I was married before, and if you were to talk to my ex-wife, she would tell you, I still love him. You know, we amicable, but in her mind, she touched everything there. I know she did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mad at her for that. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I figured out that not everybody has the capacity to give you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we settle thinking that person is not out there. And through lack of patience or whatever, we don't pursue it. So by me going through so much, when I got a divorce, man, I took 3 years. I didn't date. I was married since I was 19 years old. All I've ever known is marriage. You follow what I'm saying? I got divorced. I was divorced 3 years. I didn't date. Me and Carlos would meet at the Coney Island, a little restaurant here in Detroit where everybody knows we're famous for Coney Island, and we would have conversations. And if you would have told me that I wouldn't have dated, and I had women to ask me out to do this, but I knew that if I did that, it was going to be strings attached. And I met her organically. My wife is actually my son's wife's sister.
Uh-huh.
My son knew her before I knew her.
Right.
He married her sister. They was together, knew him for a long time. And then one day they came and said, I want my sister to meet you. You know, she's having some issues, some problems. Say, you should talk to my dad. He counsels people. He does this. And I met her. And when I met her, I felt it. She felt me. I didn't have to work at it. It was just a connection there. And people say, oh, that doesn't happen. Happens all the time.
It does.
It does.
I have friends that I never sit down with Mikey and say, man, you gonna be my friend?
No, it's just organic, right?
It's organic. We had that chemistry. Me and Carlos, we had that chemistry. And it was the same thing with her. She taught, but I had to get rid of the residue from my past to give her a fair shot.
Right.
Because it was almost like it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because they had put in you that doesn't exist. They used to call me the hopeless romantic. On it ain't out there. You and that don't exist. All that romance, all this.
Fairy tales. Yes.
And my whole thing was, man, I wanted simple. Someone to love me for who I am, to feel me. And it happened organically. And she is my place of peace and comfort. And I can honestly say, man, we've been married for 10 years. I can count the times on one hand, on 3 fingers. We probably had 3, may not be major arguments to somebody else, but was major for us. We don't roll that way. We do the other things, and it's always a thing of her coming back to me and say, well, I feel like this, or I come back to her and say, I never want to hurt you. I just want to so-and-so. And there's that conflict resolution. That's why you hear me say it so much.
Wow.
Organically happening. That's why I'm happy when I hear you and Rick talk, because I feel the heart of young men who are sincere, and I feel the soberness and the experience of the men who are talking that are up in years, above you all. And so I like to mix this here, and I really like the different trends of thought, because I think this will be good for the women out there, because they're all different, but we have some general principles that are alike.
Yep.
And if they can tap into those, we are pretty much the same. If you every man, I guarantee you, he's not going to leave out comfort and peace.
Adrian, and for the ladies, Parks said something deep that probably didn't really mean that much at the time.
I'll tell you.
But watch this. Me, Parks, and Carlos can sit here and honestly say we have never even raised our voices at each other in 45, 50 years we've been knowing each other. Wow. And we can go for a month or a year and reconnect, and there's absolutely no love lost. So Justin and ladies, that's not just because we different kind of boys. You can have that, like Parks has, relationship.
That's right.
If that's who you, and this is hard to say, but it's true. If that's who you're supposed to be with, then that's who you're supposed to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. A woman generally believes that a man loves her when he says, I love you. But a man believes that a woman loves him when
she respects him.
I'm about to say, he hit it on the head. Respect is our love language. That is a love language for all men. If you respect us, then how could you love someone that you don't respect?
No respect, you can't.
Because you want me to love you from an emotional perspective. But I want you to love me from a respect perspective. It has not, they're the same thing. They're synonymous, I promise you. But when you can be disrespectful to me, like, you don't love me if you can try to in front of people. If you're my rib, if you came from me, because if I respect you, then that's me showing you love. That's my way of showing you love, through respecting you, by not calling you out your name, by for you, by being by being that provider, by making sure we have a roof over our head. I can take a bullet for you. But that's my way of showing you love, because I respect you so much. I don't want nobody to disrespect you, because I'm not gonna let them to disrespect me.
That's right.
Right. So then I'm gonna put a twist on it, Adrian. I know you love me when you ain't even got to tell me.
That part.
Yeah.
I know more you love me when you don't have to even say it. Like I used to have a saying before my wife passed. It's like, it sounded arrogant, but it was the honest God truth. You say I love you, and your spouse says I know you do. That ain't because you can't help it, because I'm all that. That means I know you love me. That's a deep thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that I would have to say that respect thing
is okay. Run for the hills.
Say that again.
If you tell your woman or your girlfriend or your wife, if you on the phone or whatever, and you say I love you, and the response you get back is okay, run for the hills.
Why? Because that's what men. Easy. I love you. Okay.
Okay. Say it again, right? Oh, that's the answer, ladies. We don't ever want to hear. Okay.
Right.
Oh no.
Right.
Oh nah.
Well, let me ask you another one before we go back to mancaving. This is a complete this sentence. It's not that she's not saying the right thing. It's just that.
Wow.
Her actions don't show it.
She's taking too much of the other stuff.
How she's saying it, yeah.
Yeah, it's how she's saying it.
It's how she's saying it, right?
Listening to our homegirls. You doing? Listening to those bad influences.
Man.
We don't do third-party relationships. We don't do third party.
Yeah.
I hear you, nephew. That's some wisdom.
Let me ask this question. When a woman comes at you a certain way, no matter how right it is, do you get that feeling of am I talking to a woman here, or am I talking to a dude here? When they come in so hard that you have to remember this is a woman, but the venom that's coming forth out of them,
the venom
make you forget. So if they're coming at you cussing, then hey, we on that level. Or if they're
exactly
coming at you accusing, then there you go back. You know, do you all have ever felt that? You know, I know.
Yeah.
See, that goes back. That goes back to the prior question where he answered. He said the main way you know is that she respects you. If she's talking to you with disrespect, then tell right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's the tone. It's the tone too, at how they may come to you and stuff, because that you can say something one way and it can be okay, but if the tone is off, and
with the exact same words, it
can be the same words, but the tone makes a whole lot of difference and stuff. And so for me personally, that will shut me down.
It doesn't matter. You can be as right as the Bible.
Yep.
But if you don't present it right,
that's right.
Now we're responding. We're acting. I'm sorry, and there is no more.
Yeah, we reacted. Yeah, you passed the response.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going now. Like if you're trying to emasculate me, I believe that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to emasculate me, and you're trying to come against my inner man. I ain't. So I'm gonna come at you with the same level of energy that you're giving me, because I'm like. But the thing is, it's like if I'm telling you, like, okay, baby, calm down, or just chill out for a second, or let me walk away. Because if I begin to get disrespectful, now you're looking at me like I'm a bad guy, but you started it.
Yeah.
You started it.
And the older I got, I learned the secret, Justin and Rick, because I've had sisters. We've all had them. I can't even do it, but you know what I'm talking about. Byron, right. And she, Pastor, she went down a list of stuff that I was and wasn't. Okay, and I just said that. You done? So is that the guy you with? You just described the guy you with.
Wow.
And then what? Then where do you fall on the totem pole? If that's the kind of guy you with, you feel me? Mm-hmm. And she got really quiet and had to think about it. So if I'm this, that, and the son of that, and this and all that, that's the guy you with, sweet pea. Okay.
That's that wisdom Mike D talked about.
I would like to, and shameless plug for my book, but one of the examples I gave is that you can have your favorite dish, whatever it is, and you present it on the garbage can lid. I'm not eating that. I don't care how much I love it. I don't care how great the dish is, how much you slaved over it. If you bring it to me on a garbage can lid, it's not going to work.
Great analogy, Bishop.
Wow, that's good. I like that.
That ain't any better.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good stuff. I'm going to go back to a man cave question, okay? And I'll jump off of it here and there. So some of the women wanted to know, can we be more creative in our approach to pull the men out of the man cave sooner?
What was that last word?
Can we be more creative in our approach to pull the men out of the man cave sooner?
Sooner, okay.
Yeah, I'm not married, but if I was married, the way you can get me out of my man cave sooner.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I'm Adrian Lavella, reminding you that life can throw us challenges, but we will get through it together. Let's love together. Let's forgive together. Let's heal together. Let's do life together. I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. I think it should be noted that after the Man Cave series comes the She Shedding series, because the women have chimed in and they've got something to say. So I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m.